Hello everybody. Welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having an absolutely fantastic day. Ledger is having their limited Black Friday sale with a free $70 worth of Bitcoin when you purchase their Ledger Flex, their brand new touchscreen device, as well as 40% off their Ledger Nano X, 25% off the Ledger Nano S Plus in a multitude of different colors, as well as a number of discounts on their accessories. While I do not work for Ledger, I am an affiliate, and I have an affiliate link in the description below for those of you looking to keep your cryptocurrency safe as prices continue to rise. And without any further ado, let's jump right into it. We're on a roll. We're on like a really weird, popular news kind of roll. We're like, I mean real news as well. We have a tendency to have popular news in crypto, and it's like, well, that was garbage. That's not really news at all, like kind of thing. This happened. I rolled my eyes because you don't lie to us. It's just kind of like annoying at this point. If you are new here, hello. If you're not new here, hello. We have known that institutions have been in this space since 2014. It was also just reconfirmed to us a couple of days ago. What was it? Novogratz has apparently been in the space since 2013. Big money has been here for a while. A lot of times we end up hearing from these companies and they try to pretend like they just got here. What? Bitcoin? I don't know what this is. I guess I'll have a look, like that kind of thing. I need to make sure that you all know rich people have known about Bitcoin since around 2015, 2016. I mean, like solidly, not like on a partial basis. I mean, like have known about it. I told this story years ago. Wow. This was like 2016, 2017. The first couple of years when I got into crypto, I was like perusing. I was trying to figure out what this space was. I had heard so many negative things online, seen so many, I didn't know what to think, what to expect. So I started to go to these like cryptocurrency events, these crypto conventions. And I went to like a really interesting one where people were just kind of walking around like just selling Bitcoin. They were like, hey, you interested? They were talking about the space and this and yada, yada. And I mean, I wish I had a time machine because this was, Bitcoin's price was like peanuts at that point. And I remember I sat down at some point. I was with a friend and he was walking around. He was very enthusiastic. He loved the space. So I sat down. I was looking on my phone and this woman sat next to me. We started talking. And then I'm like, where are you from? Like, I can hear your accent. She said she was somewhere from in the States. I forgot exactly where, but I was like, okay, cool. We from the same place. So me and her talking, and I was like, what are you doing here? She's like, I work for a number of families who are trying to like learn about the space. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And I was like, are you a nanny? And she was like, no. She's like, I'm a wealth manager. And I was like, keeping in mind at this point, I've been investing in like ETFs and mutual funds for like a year and a half. So I'm like, half of the words she's saying, I'm shaking my head like I understand, but I have no idea what this woman's talking. And I was like, She told me that one of the families had heard about Bitcoin and they allocated $5 million to her to learn more about it and basically just buy up as much as she could. So she said she was at this event to try and find someone who basically had $5 million. This is years ago. Bitcoin wasn't even at $5,000 yet. And she said they had allocated $5 million to put into Bitcoin. And I remember sitting there and I was like, what? And she was like, yeah, like the space is really tiny. And like, they're just trying to like get, in before everyone else. I forgot that even happened. I have so much stuff always going on. rich people have known about this space for years. So when this news came out, I rolled my eyes because I was like, don't pretend that you didn't know. Don't pretend you don't have any Bitcoin. But it made very popular news because a rich person was talking. That's usually how we end up getting popular news within the space. His name is Rick Wurster, Wurster, the incoming Chief Executive of Banking and Investment. That's a bougie title. For Charles Schwab. Charles Schwab is a bank. They're an asset holding company, institution, you name it. They kind of do everything. I believe that they're worth or have assets around $7 trillion. Charles Schwab is huge. The incoming CEOBNIA is not a thing. For Charles Schwab, said the company plans to offer spot crypto trading once regulations in the United States make it easier. Basically tipping their hat in the direction of January and being like, we're going to offer this because we want to. Back in 2018, 2019, a number of companies, what happened to my knuckle? It's all red. A number of companies came forward trying to start their own cryptocurrency trading desks. I think like one launched and it didn't really work out. It's similar to when the New York Stock Exchange launched Bakkt, BAKKT, and it was like a complete failure. It was mainly because like we already have crypto exchanges. It's similar to stable coins. We already have like 3 major stable coins. We don't need 19 new ones. Every company's trying to launch one and it's like, okay, sure, launch a stable. Oh, it's already a failure. I'm sorry. For crypto exchanges, we have the big 4, and then there's a bunch of other ones sprinkled around that other people use and also other main ones in other countries. So having a new one is like, okay, but I assume in situations like this, it's kind of like when BlackRock was talking about entering the space. I was like, okay, they know what's going on. These institutions, it's not random. It's not haphazard is the word, where they simply go, should we? No, they know, and they have clients who are like, we want to do business with you. We've been allocating our assets with you for the last 15 years, and all my money is with you, and therefore I don't want to take it out and put it with another company. So therefore, when are you going to launch this so I can keep my money within this company who I've been using for a very long time? It's that kind of thing. So they're talking about launching their own crypto trading desk, which I assume is going to be popular. They have a lot of money, advertising and all that. Here's the ridiculous part. He also admitted to feeling silly that he has yet to purchase any digital assets. If my eyes could roll backwards far enough that I could like jump to Mars, they would have done so. He said, crypto has certainly caught many's attention, and they've made a lot of money doing it, he said in an interview on Bloomberg Radio, before adding, I have not bought crypto, and now I feel silly. You mean to tell me that Mike Novogratz, Michael Saylor, the Paris Hilton, Kim Kardashian and Kanye West heard about Bitcoin before you and own a lot of Bitcoin before? You don't have to lie to us. You can simply just say like Bitcoin's going to be big and crypto assets are they've caught the attention of many. You adding in that you feel silly, you expect me to, I'm going to go out on a limb here and assume that the incoming chief executive of banking and investment at Charles Schwab is worth more than $1 million. I would dare even say this person's probably worth $500 million, and that's the low end figure. I'm going to assume around $2, $3, $4, $5 billion on like on a bad day. You mean to tell me that retail investors around the world heard about crypto before? And even more so, here's a really good one. You know that a lot of people, very wealthy people, they have asset managers, like similar to like that woman I was telling you about. And what they usually are like tasked with doing, Like, they're told by the family, we have an extra 50 million. Like, do whatever you want with it. If you see like something is new in trend, use that money and allocate it into whatever you see fit. Because we literally have an extra 50 million from the $500 million that we made this year. I know it sounds insane, but this is how like big money works. This guy probably has an asset manager and knows how assets work. Bitcoin has gone up since its inception by 9 million%. Google it. Since the time Bitcoin was created, it's gone up by several million percentage points. This thing was never on your radar. Back in 2017, for those of you who missed it, back in 2017, we heard from other people that BlackRock was already in Bitcoin. That's why I was like, everyone who's delusional and thinking that BlackRock, the first time that they touched Bitcoin was in January 2024, you need to start over, because that's not how it worked. They've been in Bitcoin for a number of years. You don't get randomly into Bitcoin. Like, that's not how it works. They've been researching, they've been following the news, and they've been purchasing it in the background just in case it does jump, that they also have some. You don't sit on the sidelines and go, it's at $400. I hope it doesn't get to $100K. That'd be detrimental for my finances. No, they've been buying in the background as well. This guy clearly owns crypto. He owns Bitcoin. And I assume to him, it's probably not a lot. I assume he owns around like $15-20 million of Bitcoin, like spot, like the actual coin, and also through a number of ETFs. He added that he was not planning on investing in crypto at the moment, but wanted to support, don't lie to me. Like, I just don't understand the need for that. But wanted to support Schwab clients who wish to do so. There are predictions that Bitcoin is going to $1 million either next year or within the next 4 years. You mean to tell me this man didn't purchase as much Bitcoin as he could at $50,000 when the asset's going to do a 20x in price? You mean to tell me he owns no Bitcoin, he owns no crypto? We're getting all this news about whale wallets buying every single day. The ETFs in a year purchased over 1 million Bitcoin. He just sat at home watching CNBC going, I wish I knew a way to make money like my friends. I guess I'll just have to keep buying rocks. I don't know what else to purchase. This was major news, and it was also really popular news because he said, why do people fall for stuff like this? It was popular news because people were like, oh my gosh, this guy doesn't own any crypto. Isn't that crazy? Well, he's going to have to soon. He's going to be left behind. You know, these rich people lie to you all the time, right? Remember, for those of you who weren't here, around 2018, 2019, that was a ridiculous time in the market. After crypto prices began to like cascade downward in 2018, there were at least 14 different millionaires and billionaires who came out of the woodworks in support of like hating crypto. Yeah, crypto's only for criminals. It was like nonstop. It was back to back, and I was like, who are you? I've never heard your name in my. Where did you even come from? Crypto's bad. Crypto's awful. Crypto's terrible. These same people in mid 2019 came back into the news talking about how amazing Bitcoin was. I just bought, Bitcoin's going to be the greatest asset on the planet. Bitcoin's going to do this. And I was like, wait, hold on a second. And in the videos, I showed you the day that they said that Bitcoin was awesome. And I showed you them 2 years before talking about Bitcoin was for criminals. It was a concerted effort because they realized what Bitcoin could do. At the end of 2016, Bitcoin, I think, was $600. And 2017, it rose to $20,000. These people realized really quick that they had missed out. So in a concerted, collected effort, they came out talking about how terrible it was, how awful it was. No one should be touching it. No one should be using it because they were buying it up for themselves. Remember, there were 3 different African countries, but I think one was Nigeria. I don't remember, where their local authorities came forward and said that Bitcoin was illegal. Bitcoin's awful. Bitcoin's terrible. But like no one this is literal poison. Don't touch it. And then there was a podcast of this guy, I think once again in Nigeria, who came forward and he was on the podcast and he was saying it's not illegal. He said he was telling his friends that he's getting into Bitcoin and some of them stopped talking to him. And he was like, what happened? They said, you're doing something illegal and I don't agree with it. And he was like, what are you talking about? They said, did you not hear the news? It's illegal. You can't do that. Get away from me. Like really, he said his friends were very aggressive with him. So he said he checked online. He found nothing about it. He checked everywhere. He said he even wrote letters and stuff like that. And he went to the actual regulators and said, is Bitcoin illegal? And they said no. But the central bank says that it should be illegal. That was their stance. But they told everyone it's illegal. Don't touch it. The actual news was they think it should be illegal. The news got warped and was released that way. And it stopped. I can only assume 10 million plus people in that country from accumulating Bitcoin at $1,400, $2,000. That's why I said it's always just about greed and money. Those regulators and those bankers knew exactly what they were doing. If you've never looked at corruption, and I mean, once again, this is everywhere. This is not just within Africa. This is everywhere. But if you watch a documentary about corruption in certain African countries, it is like blatant. It's like in your face, like break dancing in front of you at the Olympics level of corruption. Like, oh, they're just going to like openly, they'll walk up to the pot and just take money out of it. That's why I said a lot of countries, I think a lot of citizens in the future are going to be quite angry when they realize that the institutions who are supposed to be helping them actively told them not to get into crypto while the institutions and the banks were buying. That's going to be a major thing in the future when people realize that they've basically been lied to. There were probably, and a rough estimate, probably around 500 million extra people who could have been into crypto, but the rich people wanted it all for themselves, so they made sure to lie to everyone. Didn't it seem weird when all these billionaires were like, oh, crypto's great, crypto's amazing, I love Bitcoin, and I was like, the last 4 years, all you did was say that we were terrible. We, me, you, us. I remember them saying anyone in crypto is a terrible human being. Remember Rat Poison Squared? Remember all this other stuff that all these people were saying? And now he feels silly. He feels silly for not. I know you own Bitcoin. Like you don't like. There's no reason. Like, do you think you'll come off as like a better person or like cooler or something like that? I don't. You're not doing this for your clients. You're doing this for the money. No one creates a cryptocurrency exchange so that they can go, I've made the world a better place. For the next 9 years, there will be no fees. 0% fees. Nope, I don't want any of it. You keep all your money because this is for the clients. This is for the people. Now I feel silly. No, you're doing it because you see the money that there is to be made. Like that's basically, you're Charles Schwab. Like, come on, there's no reason. There's no reason to lie to us. It's so pointless. Yes, everywhere in the news. Everyone's, I guess, happy about it. I'm not really sure. It just basically is announcing that there's going to be another avalanche of money flowing into this market, I guess, relatively soon. I would assumption that this will probably happen sometime in the middle of next year, if not a little bit earlier. We will probably hear that Charles Schwabington is probably going to also try to launch their own Bitcoin ETFs as well, because that just makes the most sense. This was very popular news, but it mainly always has to do with any rich person standing up announcing that they're getting into crypto, they like crypto, they want to be in crypto, whatever the case might be. But Charles Schwab is also like absolutely gigantic. So once again, I sincerely hope that the masses have been front running all of these companies. You cannot hear that Charles Schwab is getting into the market and go, that's going to be great. They want all of the Bitcoin. It is 2024. This market is going to look insane in the year 2033. I've been having it in my videos, on my video titles for years, if you do not own crypto, if you do not own Bitcoin, you are going to be left behind. You are going to be, you will look ancient. You will sit at your job and you will be angry and wonder why you didn't do more. I've been saying it for years. It's only until we get to 100K that it makes sense to people. It's only until XRP begins pumping. It's crazy. Like, it's actually completely insane. How do people keep losing faith in this space when this is daily news? You know how many people sold their XRP, didn't buy any XRP? They needed to hear that Gary Gensler was leaving. And before XRP goes to $3, now they want back in when the thing was like 40 cents for so many years. You know how many people didn't buy Cardano, didn't buy any Bitcoin, no Ether, nothing. They waited, as I stated before, they waited for prices to go back up and things are out of their reach. You know how many people are going to nosedive into this market when Bitcoin is at $250,000? Do you understand that? These people are going to rush head first. Have you ever seen someone rush head first? Like, you literally put your head down like you are a rhino and you charge forward. When Bitcoin's at $250,000, it will be $2,500 to buy 1 million Satoshis. There are going to be people who rush in. I sit here perplexed on a daily basis. This news was popular because it's rich people once again saying they're getting into the space. Because if rich people don't help us, how will we help ourselves? That's the Charles Schwab news. Get ready for the best bull run of your life, like of your life, that you've ever had. Okie dokie. Let's move on. Also, in very popular news, I was a little surprised because I had assumed that this was already a thing. I guess cannot. Texas lawmakers are reportedly exploring launching a strategic Bitcoin reserve. This is according to the Satoshi Action Fund. You know how high Bitcoin's about to go in price? Do you understand what you're witnessing? Do you actually get it? The news that we've been receiving and will continue to receive is that apparently there are a bunch of countries who are buying egregious amounts of Bitcoin right now. We've had news before, and this is how I know that people don't pay attention all the time. This is why I said I thought this already happened. We've had news before from Arizona, from Florida, multiple places in Brazil, like we've been going over. These cities, these states, these counties, these countries have already been buying up Bitcoin. You know that when this happens, other U.S. states are also going to follow suit. The idea, as far as I understand, the idea of the U.S. having a Bitcoin reserve is meant to be like for the government to have it, like in D.C. basically. If every other state begins to announce they're going to do the exact, if Bitcoin goes to $500,000, other states are going to be like, we have to do the exact same thing. And they're going to begin to announce we're going to try and buy a quarter of a Bitcoin every single day. When other provinces in Canada begin to do that and places in Mexico begin to do the exact same thing, this is where the idea of the $1 million plus Bitcoin comes in. We know that Bitcoin supply right now is so finite, it's drying up just because of the ETF purchases. Do you get that? Just from whales, the last few years, and the ETFs. If we get news that the US is doing it, we're doing it, like in DC, we're doing it, The light bulb is going to flash for hundreds of other places around the world. People think that it's just countries. We've had multiple cities before announcing that they're already buying Bitcoin for their reserves. That was part of the excitement of the news, for El Salvador. Not only is Bitcoin legal tender, I think they're buying a Bitcoin every single day. Every single day they're buying one Bitcoin. Oh gosh. Remember in summertime, there was a news story. I think that El Salvador was buying, 3 or 5 Bitcoin per day, and people were angry. You said it was only going to be one, and I was like, you're mad because they realize what Bitcoin is and they want to buy more before the price skyrockets. I don't really know. I need everyone on board. Like, I need everyone here. I need everyone paying attention. This is according to the Satoshi Action Fund, a non-profit advocacy group. They said, I have officially been asked to speak in Texas and will present the on strategic Bitcoin reserves. What? Okay. Lawmakers from across the USA and the world will be in attendance. Hot diggity dog. This was said by Dennis Porter, CEO of the Satoshi Action Fund, on Twitter. Porter stated that preliminary conversations with a Texas legislator about introducing Bitcoin reserve legislation has already begun. I have chills. I'm actually like a bit shocked because I thought that Texas, Florida, and Arizona already had this. But I think it's just Miami and one other place that already have actively been buying up for their cities. I want to know, probably not. I was going to say, I want to know if this is going to be live streamed or if someone's going to record this, because I would love to see who's actually going to be in attendance. Lawmakers from across the U.S., what does that mean? I assume it's going to be like 15 to 20, if not more people from the lawmakers in different states and from the world. From where? Don't you want to know? Because I want to know. I want to know which countries. Imagine someone flew from the other side of the world to be in attendance for this man talking about creating a Bitcoin reserve. You realize that we're witnessing hyper Bitcoinization? I was texting my friends that yesterday. I have 2 friends who are really into the market, and I was texting them and I said, do you realize that like we're witnessing the change right now? Like, we are actively viewing the world change. We are seeing, because before this all happened in secret. Remember I told you, like, all these people who were hating on us and yada, yada, yada. No, like, we're witnessing in real time people actively being like, oh yeah, something's going on. Do you know what it means if you don't have crypto? Remember, oh my gosh, let me not try and rant. Do you get and understand explicitly that there are going to be billions of people on this planet who are unable to, billions, to ever have a million Satoshis? They will never be able to have a million Satoshis. Do you understand a million Satoshis? Do you remember and I'm waiting for a new one. Do you remember the news that we got in order to be part of the Bitcoin 1%? This is from 2017, 2018. To be part of the Bitcoin 1%, you need 0.28 Bitcoin. That was before all the Bitcoin was being siphoned up by rich people. I assume that number is around 0.15. I'm not joking. Because the number goes down, like the more Bitcoin is allocated, like in the hands of whales and of the rich. Like, you literally then need less to be rich. I assume that number is 0.15 Bitcoin. Do you understand what that means to be part of the 1%? It means that 99% of people will never, ever be able to be where you are. Ever. If Texas announces that they're buying Bitcoin for the state of Texas, we're going to hear Florida, Arizona, West Virginia, possibly California say, okay, we're doing the exact same thing. If they say anything over a Bitcoin a day, it's on. You do not understand. The world is changing so quick. And I see that my view count is back up since the bull run began. And thank you for the views, but gosh darn it, you guys can't leave the market like that again. The opportunities that people keep missing. I'm almost certain, I have a feeling that that cycles are kind of done. I don't think there's going to be some big crash in the market at the end of 2025. Because if we get to summertime and we have 35 countries actively buying along with the US, and then we have 68 cities and counties and states around the world also buying along with the whales and the ETFs and Charles Schwab, and you also try, if you think about it, you are now front running the US because you have to. That leads us to the point where there's no more really, there's no dips in the price. Well, yeah, that's going to do it for this video. This is kind of crazy. I have one other friend who really understands what's going on, really, really, really gets it. He's the one I told you who has conversations with his family. I spoke about him a while ago. Yeah. So when this happens, this will be news. I don't think it'll be difficult to push through something like this. I do hope that you've all enjoyed. I hope you are paying attention. I hope you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever the heck you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Don't forget not to feel silly because you're in the market. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.